ジャズの勉強をしておしゃれなピアノを弾いてみたい。ニューヨークでプロで活躍する先生がリトミックの先生やピアノの先生に分かりやすく考えてくれました。
Build a solo with.
幸子先生です。今日はとっておきの講座のご紹介です。私もリトミックの先生なのでいつもピアノの即興演奏をしてるんですけれども、子供の方を見ながらおしゃれなコードで弾きたいって思うんですが、やっぱりついついいつも同じになってしまうんですよね。それでジャズの勉強をしておしゃれなピアノを弾いてみたいってずっと思ってたんですけれども、なかなか時間がなくてジャズのレッスンに通いたいと思っても遠くまで行くことができなかったりとか、オンラインレッスンでやるよって言っても30分しかなかったらあんまりできなかったりとか、何度も見直せたらいいのにっていうことをよく思ったりしてたんですけれども、そんな私がやってほしい、こんなレッスンしてほしいっていうのをお願いして、なんとニューヨークのプロの先生がやってくれることになったんですね。私は昔ニューヨークに住んでたことがあるので、よくブルーノートとかおしゃれなジャズの音楽を聴きながら、一杯飲んじゃってねなんていうところに行ったりしてたんですけど、いやーおしゃれってよく思ってて、あんな音楽聴けたらいいなって思ってたんですよね。そんな先生になられたらいいなというふうに思っていてお願いしたところ、それが実現しました。イエーイってことで、ニューヨークでプロで活躍する先生がリトミックの先生やピアノの先生に分かりやすく、でも通常だったらこんなの3年も4年も5年もかかっちゃうんだよっていう内容をぎゅっと短い時間で学習できるように考えてくれました。コード、皆さんコード分かりますか？ドミソだったら C とか、ドレミファ CDEF、 ファからファラドだったら F とか、多分 CFG とかは皆さん分かると思うんですよね。CDEFG も分かるかもしれないですね。 B とかも分かるかもしれないですけれども、じゃあそこにマイナー、M がついたらフラット真ん中下げるよとかっていうことはまだ分かるかもしれない。でもマイナス5とかセブンスとかメジャーセブンスとかなってくると、本当に私も頭では分かっても実際それを使いこなすことができないあるんですけど、皆さんもコード分かるよ、頭には出てくるけど、じゃあパッとそこに手がいくかって言ったらちょっと難しいと思うんですよね。今回のジャズ講座のやっぱり魅力は、その練習の仕方も教えてくれるんですよ。どうやってジャズって練習したらいいのって思うんですけれども、こういう風に練習しましょうっていうところも実際教えてくれてるんですね。でジャズのあとビート感とかスイングとかブルースとか、そういうのもちょっとなかなかわからないじゃないですか。そういうリズムのこととかもすごく細かく言ってくれてるので、そういうところもしっかり弾けるようになっていく。そしてまたこう楽譜がないと、楽譜があればまだコードネームがあるからわかるけれども、実際コード進行って楽譜ない中でどうやって作っていくのとか、そういうこともなかなかわかんないと思うんですよね。わかんないと思うんですよねって言ったら私わかんないんですけどそれを習える講座ができました。ニューヨークで収録させていただいたもので、先生はもちろん英語でやってるんですけれども、しっかり全部字幕がついてますので、皆さんもしっかり学ぶことができます。そしてもうたくさんのまたこの分かりやすい楽譜の教材がついてますので、このどういうふうに練習していけばいいんだろうっていうこととか、全部細かく分かるようになってるんですね。よくリトミックでは境界線法って大事だよって言われるんですけれども、その境界線法についても私も頭でも分かってるんですけど、なかなか使いこなせないんですよね。その境界線法、モードですね。ジャズでもモードってすごく大事だって言われてるので、そのモードの使い方にもしっかり踏み込んでくれてます。本当におすすめの講座ですので、ぜひその一部を皆さんご覧ください。
Hi there, my name is Julian Shore, and I'm a pianist working here in New York, and I have been for many years. I had the great opportunity to study with a lot of really amazing teachers over the years. I went to Berkeley on a full scholarship when I was younger, and there I studied with the great Danilo Perez and Joanne Brackeen and a bunch of other piano legends, and I was able to work with legends like Wayne Shorter and people like that. And since then I've moved to New York and made a career performing and touring and teaching schools like the New School and Berkeley Conservatory. So I'll be here to teach you both how to play jazz piano, the essentials of jazz piano really, and how to best express that to your students as well. In this age, there's a lot of misinformation in the world, especially with YouTube classes, digital classes, and Instagram. There are a lot of teachers offering learn jazz in 10 minutes and things like that. And anyone who's ever tried to master a craft knows that that's impossible. And so I focus on making sure that we have the most essential information, the most important things that really makes a great jazz artist. And then from there we can build. So there won't be any quick, do this one thing and you can play jazz. It's a long process, but it's a beautiful one. And it allows you to express yourself deeper than almost any art form. So for today, we're going to be talking about rhythm, the most important aspects of jazz. It's probably the thing people notice first when they hear jazz, is the rhythm of it. Also, improvising, of course, is an essential core element, but you can't improvise when you don't have the tools to do so. So we're going to focus first on the tools. One in, one in, one in, one in, not one in, one in. That would be even, one in. We're doing one in, triplet, one in, triplet, one in, one in. Then two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4, 2, 2, 4. Harmony, chords, triads and seventh chords, the sounds that make up jazz when we hear it. Today we're going to be talking about the elements that combine to create the rich, colorful harmony that jazz is known for. Practice going in fourths because that's the way that harmony tends to move. In typical songs, a C chord would go to an F chord would go to B flat chord would go to an E flat, etc. So that's why we practice in fourths. Getting bored of playing your scales chromatically, or however you practice them, practicing around the circle, etc., can give you another way to practice this. So, the blues. The blues is one of the most important aspects of learning how to play jazz. There is no jazz without the blues. I'll count you in and I'm going to do that same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, that is one of the most important elements of jazz music, and this whole world that we call jazz is improvising. The first pentatonic is the major pentatonic, and that goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've probably heard that before. There's also the minor pentatonic. So that's just something I made up. That's just an example of improvising using that pentatonic. A pretty little exercise, right?
you can, again, of course, you want to practice this in all your keys. You can modulate in between. There's so many different things you can do, but we'll get to that later. Something like this. Just for example, to start to understand these secondary dominants. Improvising over jazz standards. This is probably what you've been waiting for a while. We've talked about how to build our way up to improvising, not just in the blues, not just on a couple of chords, but over a jazz standard. Taking an idea from our melody and working that through our chord changes. So there's not a lot of material in this melody, right? We just have but even just a simple idea like something like that, we can really build a solo with. Right, so I'm just kind of taking that little and taking a little idea and maybe moving it around, putting it with a swing feel, putting it on different beats, but basically using that as my way to improvise. You could drop two of those. Pretty cool, huh? Very easy technique, but it opens up a wide range of sounds. For example, if we wanted to have a C major 7, we would have C, B, E. That gives us root 7, 3. And then I could add some tensions above it, like 13 and 9. Nice sound, right? I could do that with a dominant chord, root 7 and 3, and then maybe some altered tensions. What the horn player is doing. Now you can also use this as a way to build energy, right? You could do something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some kind of rumbling thing to build the energy, lift the horn player up. Bebop has a long and rich tradition, and it comes from a mixture of music from Latin America, music from Africa, and of course, jazz. For example, we could approach every note from a triad by a half step below. Or from a step above. Or both. That kind of already already starts to sound like bebop just using some of these approaches. If we wanted to do the major one in the key of C, we would take a major 6 chord and a diminished chord and alternate them. It's a minor scale that has the natural 6 in it. Because it has this natural 6, it gives us a very pastoral, kind of open minor sound. So we could also do this all in C. For example, we could have C Lydian. Or C Aeolian, or C Dorian, or C Phrygian, etc. So in order to figure these things out, you have to kind of know them in all the keys. So for example, you might have a song that is just in the C Aeolian mode. Was said to me was about introducing jazz to young people. And, I would just say that jazz at this point has been around for 100 years or more. And there's such a wide variety that there's probably something that will speak to everyone and to every child. So maybe think about their personality, the things that they like, and just have it around the house. Maybe if they're a singer, it might be nice to play some of the great singers like Billie Holiday or Frank Sinatra, Nina Simone, or Jobim, and maybe they'll find themselves wanting to hear more of it. And make sure to communicate. Whatever you play for any of your son or daughter or students, make sure you ask them, do you like this? And if they do, try to play them things that are similar. And maybe they can find their area of jazz that they really like. Because not all of it is going to be for everyone. Just like classical music, rock music, pop music, whatever. And then the other question of this was, what would be a good age to start studying jazz? And really, I think any age is appropriate for learning how to improvise. It doesn't have to be specifically jazz, but just getting comfortable with making things up is something that appeals, I think, to every age group. And then there's a infectious feel of swing music. It just makes us want to dance and tap our feet. And I think that's universally loved, especially at a young age. So putting on a classic Count Basie record or something and dancing along with your son or daughter would be a great way to introduce them to this music. And as far as playing their instrument, certain instruments are difficult for young people that have small hands, things like that. But playing jazz as repertoire is not that different than playing classical music. You can have little arranged things for them to play, and then they can improvise a little bit by ear, maybe using a simple blues scale or pentatonic. I've seen students be really successful at that at very young ages, 5 or 6. And it's great to incorporate a little bit of freedom with what can sometimes be a very rigid learning style in the classical world. I really encourage you to try it. So good luck and thank you.
いかがでしたでしょうか？もう学んでみたいってなっちゃいましたね。なっちゃった方は概要欄からぜひチェックしてみてください。日本子ども教育センターのページで講座のお申し込みができます。期間 間限定で募集しておりますので、期間中じゃない時はぜひ私のメールマガジンや LINE に登録してください。講座の情報はいつもそちらからお伝えしております。またメールマガジンや LINE 公式に登録していただきますと、たっぷりプレゼントを用意しておりますので、ぜひぜひ登録してお待ちください。今ね、 LINE やメルマガのプレゼントを増量しようと思っているので、登録しておくと途中でこんなプレゼントできましたって配信されるかもしれないので、楽しみに登録してお待ちくださいね。それではチャンネル登録、グッドボタン、コメントもお待ちしてます。登録してね。